Once again, this is African Growth Tribe, right? And today we are having our, the career mapping session. And for so many people, career mapping means different things at different stages, right? But this is in particular for people who want to start early. I know that in 2026, a lot of resolutions are going to be flying around, flying around. Oh, I want to achieve this. But before I go on, I would like to really ask, how many of you, how many of you on this call now, just by show of hands, if you've achieved at least 10 things out of, or 10% of out of the things that you set out to do this year, raise your hand. Just 10. Maybe your list was even just 5. Or let me just say 10%, or okay, Erica said she has achieved more than that, or about 10% at least. Is there any other person on this call who has achieved SC? Okay, great, great. Amazing. Any other person? Oh, Moi says she achieved. Okay, 50%. If you achieve 50, at least 50% of everything that you set out to do this year, let's have it. Oh, nobody. Not even our speaker. 50, just 50%. Ah, oh my God. Okay, let me raise it. Maybe I'm cutting. Oh my God. 50% is too. Oh my God. Okay, let's do 90%. If you set out for 90%, let's go. Now you have achieved 90% of all the goals that you set to achieve. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 90. Okay, maybe okay, now. 100%. Like you've achieved everything in your career, what you mapped out in your career this year. When he's giving me okay, no problem. Don't worry. You're not alone. I'm not even sure I've attained up to 10 20%, but I'm sure. So before you start writing your new year resolutions, in your career for next year, African Growth Tribe decided that okay, maybe you had a lot of things that you wanted to do, but you didn't know how to do it, right? So how do you then go about it? So why this theme is navigating Africa's skill first digital career landscape. And then you begin to wonder. So we broke it down. So we're going to be having an insightful panel session where we're going to have the co-founder, one of the co-founders of African Growth Tribe herself, speak to us, answer some of our questions. If you have any questions, just pen them down. You're going to have that. And then we also have quality experts are going to speak to us on this matter. Now, African Growth Tribe, we have just, we set out to build a generation of bold, purpose-driven Africans equipped with the knowledge, skills and confidence to shape the future of the continent. And our mission is simple: to make growth accessible for every young African through free educational resources, mentorship, and a supportive tribe that fuels purpose, connection, and transformation. That is why you are here. So that is what African Growth Tribe, that is why this session is free. You're not paying a dime to get this, all of the knowledge that's going to be dished out in this, session today. Now, without taking much of our time, we're moving into the very first session, and we're going to be having Elizabeth Odetokun, right? And the first session will be centered around building your career capital in a skills-based economy. I'm not going to say so much. I'm just going to allow our speaker. I expect that by now, you are clocking it, you are tapping in, you are anything at all. Just give it up for our speaker. And so let me introduce Elizabeth to you. Elizabeth Odetokun is a dynamic HR and operations leader with over 4 years of specialized experience dedicated to shaping the foundational infrastructure of high-growth startups. Our expertise lies in crafting scalable systems and strategies that enable emerging companies to hire, grow, and thrive efficiently, from the ground up. Now, currently, Elizabeth spearheads people and operations at Mainstack, where she masterfully blends culture with execution to build highly effective operational and human capital systems. Elizabeth is deeply passionate about creating workplaces where companies can scale with clarity and impact. Beyond a direct organizational role, she is a dedicated advocate for professional development, inspiring other professionals to proactively own their growth and build standout, impactful careers with the modern business landscape. Now, I'm joining me to welcome Elizabeth Odetokun as she takes us through this session, Building Your Career Capital in a Skill-Based Economy. Welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for pronouncing my name, specifically my surname right. People rarely get it right. So I'm grateful that you got it right. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has spent their time to listen to me, to come learn about how they can improve their career. So without further ado, I'm gonna go to my presentation now. For today, I'm going to be going straight to the point. I'm not gonna waste our time at all. Uh, I'll be focusing on the important most important things that I want you to carry, away with you from this conversation. So please, guys, could you let me know if you can see my screen? Can you guys see
Yes.
my screen? Okay, great. Uh, so in the introduction, not so many of us did an introduction, but I'm kind of hoping that there are a few nice private thoughts. I know someone mentioned that she's in filmmaking, but regardless of what industry or what specifically you do, I think everyone will find it useful. Uh, and as we all know, a lot has changed in the economy in the last 10 years, but more specifically, last 5 years. A lot has changed. Uh, Companies mostly never ask about, oh, what did you study? It's not about what you can do. It's mostly about your skill, mostly about your capability, mostly about your competence. Like, can you do the job? Do you have evidence of doing the job? That's what companies care about these days. That's what HR teams are looking for, you know. So I want everybody to keep this in mind when they are job hunting or, in the process of just thinking about your career and how you can improve on it. So yeah, a shift has happened in the uh last couple years. Companies now hire based on capability, no longer necessarily certificates. Yes, there are some niche roles that still require you to have certification, but for the most part, right, uh, you're still uh okay. I think someone's mic is on mute. I don't know, or it's from my end. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Just
we
to
can
check.
hear you clearly.
Okay. So companies basically hire based on capability and what you can do, no longer on certificates. Like I was saying, there's still some roles that require you to have certificates, like finance roles. But even at that, you can still get away with it between like entry level to mid level. So before you can start requiring certificates, you need to be approaching like senior leadership positions. Again, companies are looking for proof, right? Having certification doesn't really guarantee that you can do the job, but having skills and being able to demonstrate those skills shows over potential or promise. Things are moving so fast. Companies, it was before now that company will employ you. Sorry, can yes, can you help me mute that mic? There's somebody's mic that's on, and there's
ST's mic on.
oh, okay. Hi, ST. Did you mute? There's some interference from your end.
Obviously, can you please mute her mic?
Okay, thank you. So sorry about that. So yeah, companies before now will employ you and train you, right? But these days, that rarely happens anymore. Before they can even employ you, you need to demonstrate that you're able to uh, do some things. You need to show the skills that you have, and then that's when you get employed. So skills are the new career currency. And if you have skills again, you're basically borderless. You can be in Nigeria working with people that you've never met or you might even never meet, right? Based on like geographical location. So the world of work has changed a lot, and skills are the new thing. So what exactly is career capital? So on my screen I have skills, reputation, and relationships or network. Basically, your career capital is the combination of these three elements. It's a combination of your skills, it's a combination of your reputation, plus your relationships or your network. Career capital is the accumulation of these three things, which in turn make you valuable. If you have skills, you are valuable. If you have skills and then have good reputation, if people can vouch for your work, if people enjoy working with you or collaborating with you, then you have career capital. If those people who can speak for your reputation can also go ahead to recommend you for opportunities, then your career capital, should I say pie chart, is complete. So if you have skills and your reputation is bad or you don't have a strong network, then you need to work on your career capital. If you don't have skills, but you have good reputation, maybe people find you funny, people find you easy to work with, that will only take you so far. At some point, you're going to need to display competency. You're going to need to, you're going to need to display capabilities. And so if you don't have the first two and you have the last three, you still have, in fact, you have more work to do, because relationships without skills or good reputation can only take you so far. So yes, career capital is a, what's the word? It's an accumulation of skills, reputation, and relationships. So now I will go further to break this down. Skills capital. How can you, firstly, what does skill capital mean? And how can you increase your skill capital? So skills capital equals demonstrable ability. So having skills means that this person can do these things. There are the technical and soft skills that you can actually demonstrate. It can be data analytics, those are more like technical skills. It can be people management, problem solving. It can be communication skills. It can be solid presentation skills. It can be content making, that's more technical. It can be anything really, as long as you're able to demonstrate that you have the skills. Skills capital also involves like tools that you can use. Can you use Canva? Can you use Notion? Those are like tools that corporate people use. Can you use Google Workspace? Can you, if you're specifically in like HR, can you use HR software tools? If you're like a data analyst, can you use Power BI? Can you use Excel? If you're a finance person, can you use Excel? Can you use finance tools? So depending, even for filmmakers, I'm sure there are tools, technology that are peculiar to that industry. So can you use these tools? Uh, can you solve problems you can solve, which basically is problem solving, decision making as well. These are skills. These are things that help you fill up your skills capital. And then I'll take that to reputation capital. So reputation capital is a the public perception of your skills. It's how people experience your work. And how can you build this? By being visible. Reputation involves people who know your work, people who recommend you, people who trust your judgment, people who have worked with you and can speak for the quality of your work. Also, your digital footprint. So, like I said, visibility. This is where visibility comes in. People recommending you don't necessarily have to be personal people. They don't have to be friends. They don't have to be family. They don't have to be colleagues. If you show up well out there, if you're intentional about your digital footprint and your how you make yourself visible to the outside world, for on LinkedIn, for example, even strangers can speak for you and recommend you for opportunities, based off you just communicating your skills again. You communicating your skills, you communicating the things that you can do, the tools you can use, you demonstrating ability, demonstrating competence and capability. So those are what fills up your reputation capital. And then for the last thing, which is the relationship capital, this is the people who trust your work. The also kind of the same public proof of your work, the way you show up, the quality of your executions, people who can speak for you again. So reputation and relationship are sort of interchanging. So, but I would like to reiterate again that relationship doesn't have to be like people you know closely. They can be people on the internet. As long as you brand yourself and you're able to communicate your skills properly in a way that shows value, then you attract quality people, and then based on that, you attract opportunities. So this what fills up your career capital, and this is kind of the breakdown of. I hope this helps start helping you mentally map out, start rating yourself. Where are you? Is it that you have skills but reputation and relationship is not there? Is it that you have reputation but the other two are not there? Or do you even have all three but you need to do better at them, right? We can always keep getting better. So I wanted to start doing that mental rumination on, where your strengths are and the things that you can start to do to become what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and then for weaknesses, the things that you can start to do to improve yourself and become better. So yeah, speaking about skills-based economy, why is skills-based hiring on the rise? 4 things. It's because competition is not global, right? The world is now borderless again. You can be in Nigeria working for a company in South Asia or in the USA or in the UK. And sometimes for people that work remote jobs, sometimes you don't even meet your colleagues, right? If it's not a company that like plans physical get-togethers, you don't get to meet your colleagues physically, but you work with them. So talent and competition is now global. Remote work has also reshaped hiring pools. So companies and businesses now have more access to a lot of people. And so everybody has to do what they can to stand out. And how can you do that? Improving your skills. So this is why skills-based hiring is now on the rise. If you're saying that, if you think that only your certificates will get you jobs, opportunities, I'm sorry, you are wrong, because there are a lot of people out there who have certificates, but do you have demonstrable ability? Do you have demonstrable competence? Degrees also aren't accurate predictors of capability. So the fact that you went to school and you got a degree, it doesn't really tell me that you can do the job, especially speaking from a country like Nigeria, where our education system is still kind of wonky. I mean, some people still don't get to use like a laptop until they leave university. So companies will not be super confident to bring in somebody like that for high impact roles, right? And most of the companies around today are startups. There's numbers to be crushed. There's no time to be bringing people in, to be training them. So, yeah, degrees aren't accurate predictors of capability. So, even with your degree, you want to have skills, that can put you ahead of the competition and make you stand out. Also, skills reduce hiring risk, which is kind of what I just mentioned. A lot of companies out there now are startups. They want someone who can come in and hit the ground running. They don't have that time or bandwidth to start training people. Even if they will train you, there's just some basic level of competence that you need to have. So yeah, and this is why skills-based hiring is on the rise. And so actually building career capital, what are the things companies look out for? Demonstrated skill, communication ability, problem solving and adaptability, ownership, clear thinking. These are more on the soft side, on the soft skills side. So depending on what you do, what industry you work in, you want to go out there and do research into the technical skills that companies in your industry or in the field that you've chosen to work or have a career in, just kind of do research into this kind of skills that they're looking for. And then you can now move on to auditing your skills. List your current skills, right? Especially as we move into a new year. I've been saying it. I want people to be intentional about their career in 2026 because I don't want to say it will only get worse, but we all know what the economy looks like right now. Everybody's putting themselves out there. Everybody's online. The world has become even more borderless. The economy is crazy. So you want to do as much as possible to stand out. So one of the ways you can start strategizing for 2026 is to audit your skills. So you want to outline your current skills and then you want to identify where there's a gap. Number two, you want to prioritize career multipliers. When you just start out, in fact, even from entry level, there are just some skills that can make you valuable across different industries or different roles. Things like communication, if you can speak and if you're articulate, regardless of what you do, your career is going to accelerate. If you can solve problems, there are problems everywhere, every day. Businesses have real problems that they need solving. So if you can communicate, if you can problem solve, if you can take ownership, which is something that I've seen lacking a lot these days, if you can take ownership, those are career multipliers. And so I want you to look out for career multipliers and look at what areas are your strengths and which do you need to do better and start doing the work to fill in those gaps. So now once you've audited your skills, you want to do a skills map. I will show something similar, I will show what this looks like at the end of the presentation. So today, 90 days and 12 months. That's how I want you to think about it. Which also still ties into auditing your skills. What can you do now? Okay. What can you do now? Identify the skills that you have now. Identify the skills you must develop in the next 90 days, which is 3 months. Identify your positioning, what your long-term positioning looks like. So the skills that you need to have in 12 months. So a good example would be by December of next year, that's my 12 months plan. I want 12 months goal rather. I want to be the head of operations at a fintech, for example. So what do I need to do between now and then to get me to that point? Because you can't wait for December to start making the plans. You have to start now. So I'm going to outline the skills that I already have now and the skills that I have that I can learn in the next 3 months, and then what I can do by 12 months. So after you've done all of this, to now build visible proof, after you've built your skills, you've solidified your skills, you need to build visible proof. People need to know that you exist. People need to know that you have the skills, right? So you can create portfolios depending on your industry or your field. Data analysts, there are like hundreds of free data online that you can use to, create your portfolio. You can write case studies. You can publish articles. For people who are into engineering, you can have a GitHub account. Just document your learning and your growth. You don't even have to wait until you completely finished your entire skills map, right? Based off what you learn on a daily basis, you can start documenting the easiest way to do that is LinkedIn. We have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have Instagram. You can start building visible proof so that by the time you're ready, by my 12th month, even before then, right, opportunities will already be coming your way. So I hope that we are keeping this in mind and taking notes as well. And so in terms of filling your skills bucket, we have the non-traditional learning paths. In this world, you can learn almost anything online these days. You don't need permission, you only need discipline. We have online courses, we have YouTube learning, we have volunteer projects, self-led projects, internships, shadowing and mentorship. So learning these days has been made so easy. For me, I binge YouTube a lot. Like I enjoy watching people in my space, even outside of my space, businesses, CEOs, founders, people who have done great work. That's also learning. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy consuming, YouTube content like that. I enjoy listening to podcasts. I don't have podcasts yet, but that's also another form of learning. In fact, at the beginning of this year, I made a goal that every month I would listen to an HR related podcast because you learn things. You learn about how other people are doing things. You learn about other high achievers, and this can spoil you. So you can use online courses. We have Coursera, Allison, we have Tallstack. Tallstack is in Nigeria. We have a Udemy, LinkedIn Learning as well. You can use all of these avenues, use them to your advantage. For volunteer projects, you can volunteer for projects. There are volunteering opportunities online. You can even do self-led projects. You can apply for internships, and then you can shadow and seek mentorship as well. These are like non-traditional learning paths that can help you fill your skills bucket. And yes, thank you. In a skills-based economy, your career grows in proportion to the value that you can demonstrate, not necessarily the certificate that you collect. So I want us to focus on actually growing our skills. And then after growing your skills, build visibility, and then you can start to attract opportunities. If you want to learn more about like career leadership, I talk about this all the time on my LinkedIn or on IG, so you guys can reach me on there. And I also have free resources for us. Let me quickly show you something that I have personally. I hope you guys can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please let me know if you can
Although your
still
network is
hear
like
me.
breaking a bit, but I can hear
Yes,
you.
I think our network is lagging a bit.
Yeah.
We'll just give like a few seconds. Okay, so while she comes back, if you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat box so that
Okay, thank you. Because I couldn't see the me. All right, thank you.
I think our network is like really
Oh,
bad
okay.
because it's
Sorry about that. Oh, okay.
that's
Sorry. Guys, I'm not sure what's happening, but my sincere apologies because my laptop is working. I'm just trying to share my Notion page. Uh, is someone speaking?
no, not yet, but we can hear you now. Maybe you can
Okay.
try turning off your video and
Okay,
then we
yes.
can,
I think I should do
yes, maybe it will work.
that.
That's why mine is off as well because
Okay.
network. Yes.
I'm trying to do that now. Well, let's see what the issue is. Uh, guys, you just give me a moment. I know what the issue is. My laptop is lagging because it's about to go off. So 1 second, I'll be back. Guys, I
Okay. All right. So while like,
can hear you
uh,
guys. I'm not sure what's happening, but I can hear you guys. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry about that.
Elizabeth, maybe
But I
you can
wanted
try
to share.
logging up and joining again if you can hear me. Well, I think it's coming really late. Like it's really lagging. Let's just okay. But can anybody hear me? Let's confirm that we can hear me. We'll just wait for okay, good, good. Okay, so if
Yeah,
you
I
have,
can hear you.
I want somebody to, based off what we've done so far, what we've learned, because I actually, my key takeaway is you don't need permission, you need discipline actually, and I can relate to that so much. Yes, so we'll just wait for her to come back. But I need somebody who has been following to just, give me two major things you were able to take away from this session, right? I mean, before she comes back. So I'm going to call your names but if you can hear me clearly, please, I'd like you to unmute and just, you know, let's have something that like very important thing that you took away from this session. Monyelu, I saw that you were, giving reactions. ST, Erica, Rashidat, anyone, please. Yes.
Okay.
All
Um, I was just going to. So the things, because my network went off for a bit, but the things I was able to pick that I would practice, that I would actually implement in my life or my career is auditing your skills. That's something I've never done before. So I look forward to doing that very soon. So just like do like a reflection of knowing what my strength is, identifying my strength and things I need to work on so that it would help me like focus on what to learn. So I'll not just like dabbling different things. I'll just have like a focus on what to do. So So I picked auditing your skill inventory, and documenting your learning. I don't think I've ever documented my learning, but I look forward to doing that more. So those are the three things I picked from Elizabeth's presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. That was really, really detailed. Okay, I want somebody else to go. Okay, Esty said that. Okay, Esty, do you want to unmute yourself? Maybe you want to sort of elaborate on what you have written, right? Because I can see that Elizabeth is coming back up slowly. So before she does that, Esty, do you want to share? Well, it's fine if you cannot. So Esty said that she learned about career, capitals, and that she needs to start evaluating herself immediately. I can say the same actually, and that she has identified some areas to improve upon so as to properly put herself out there and maximize our growth. Amazing, amazing. Please, just I'd like you guys to also clap for yourself, you ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, so Elizabeth, are you back now so that
Yes,
we can, you can
I
wrap
am.
up your session and
Yes, I am.
okay.
Sorry about that,
All
guys.
right.
Also,
Welcome
very
back. Thank you.
thank you. So very quickly, I wanted to show you guys what my own skills curriculum worksheet looks like. So right here, I hope you guys can see it. Let me increase that a bit. So right here, I have skills that HR professionals, because I work in HR. I work as a HR professional. I beg your pardon. Skills that I'm supposed to have as a HR professional. I have them listed out here, and then specific skills that can help me stand out. I have them here as well. And so I sort of rated myself, right? No, this is like uh a rating scale of importance rather. So how important is this to my career? So I have high, I have medium. So you want to do something like this as well. And then you want to rate yourself. Currently, be truthful. If you're lying to anybody, you cannot lie to yourself. So if you're doing our skills map, if you're auditing our skills, I want you to be completely real with yourself, because that's the only way that you'll be able to improve. My current proficiency for this is a 3.5 over 5, 5 being the highest. And then I go down like that. And then you can kind of see that when it comes to analytics and using these tools for people analytics, I need to do a lot of work here. So I'm on a 2 here, I'm on a 0 here, I'm on a 2 here, and I'm on a 3 here. So that tells me that my target is all 5. So I need to get to level 5. And how can I get to level 5? These are my action plans. I need to take case study. I need to take a course. I need to study. I need to read. I need to practice, And then I just kind of broke all of that down into weekly things that I need to do, content that I need to watch. You can see they are mostly YouTube videos. It doesn't even have, like, the University of YouTube is free. You can find literally anything on YouTube. So you can see that I'm not even taking paid courses yet. I'm starting with free resources. And so I just kind of went down like that on a weekly basis. These are things that I need to learn. These are things I need to watch. And then I will have assignments based on all of these videos that I've watched, content I've consumed, the things I've learned. I will give myself assignments, so that I can practice and use that to show proof of having that skill. Let me quickly share another one that I have. This one is on Notion. So I use these two interchangeably. So I have a goal actually to become the 1% in my field. I want to become the 1% of the 1%. Like when people hear my name, I want to be undisputable that, oh, Elizabeth is freaking great at what she does. So I tagged it becoming the 1%. I've talked about this on my Twitter, and I think on my LinkedIn as well. It's a 6-month curriculum. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't followed through completely. You can see where I'm at. And that's because, work is crazy and life. But this keeps me accountable. It keeps the goal in front of me. These are the dates. These are my focus areas: strategic HR, culture and change, leadership. You can see, this was on my skills worksheet as well. People analytics, global HR and compliance, HR tech. So these are areas that I need to look into and I need to improve myself on. And so I've just kind of put out learning topics. So these focus areas, they are large. So I need to streamline into like topics that I actually want to learn. And I sort of have all of that here. And then key resources. For this one, I'm mostly using LinkedIn Learning and books, as well as YouTube. You can see it there. So I follow this guy, Dave Ulrich, one of the top HR people in this space. And then I have LinkedIn Learning videos that I have to watch. And then there's a book, you can see HR from the outside, Dave Ulrich. And then I have an assignment, write a one-pager, how HR can become a true business partner at, I currently work at Mesa. So I actually did this assignment and I posted it on LinkedIn. How can I be a true business partner at the company that I currently work with? That's the assignment. That's how you test your knowledge. And you have to do the assignments without ChatGPT, guys. You have to be real with yourself. That's how you test if you really are learning, right? And then I have this as well. These are books that I've read. These are videos that I've watched. I have to redraw our company's organizational chart. I did it. This can even help you bring up projects in your organization or in whatever that you do. So I just sort of have that, right, to help me continue to improve my skills capital. This thing is doing two things. In fact, it's doing all three for me. I'm improving my skills, and then I'm posting about it online, which is increasing my relationship and reputation capital. So guys, these are what I have for you. You can maybe take screenshots or whatever so that you can replicate this for yourself as well. And I sincerely wish everyone good luck. I especially like the fact that most people here are women, and I like to see women win. So I really, really hope that we'll be taking our career seriously from now on. Thank you. Yes, over back to you, the team and Great Tribe. Thanks.
Wow, 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 amazing. I've not even gotten over everything that you said actually. Yes, yes, I can see a lot of the claps. So okay, based off the last things that you said, I mean the presentation that you gave Elizabeth, I would like to ask one person to just, from the last, I had two people earlier who had summarized what, they had learned, and they were quite insightful. But right now, based off the last, things that you mentioned, I want somebody else to just tell me, so what are your key takeaways and what would you be doing differently from now? Juliet, um, Olawale, anybody, please. I really want to hear from us because it is very, very important.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
All right, good evening.
My key takeaway from what you said in the last slide was the assignments. Like assignments involves accountability, like you're accountable to yourself. That's not something I have done before. That's something I'm looking into doing now. The assignments, dedications, the scoring of our skill sets. Those are the things I've learned.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so for this last this presentation that she made, was there anything that struck you, or is there anybody who has same template, who has been doing this already? Like anybody, I want anybody at all who has, all of the things that Elizabeth says she's doing. So if you've been doing it before, you have been doing something similar to it, I want you to raise your hand. Like it's not exactly like what she is doing, like self-evaluation. This is where I want to be. This is where I am. Then, so I want somebody okay. So nobody. All right. But after this session, if you know you're going to incorporate, some of these, I need you to give me a thumbs up or raise your hand. Bethel, Juliet, interesting, interesting, great. All right. Amazing. So if you have any questions, this is the right time to ask. I would love you to ask that, because right about now I would be bringing up one of our, because I have questions actually. I too have questions, but but really, thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was not just, I mean, it was beyond my own expectation, right? And trust me, it was really, really amazing. So, amazing. Thank you, ST. ST says, be real with yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. Set the goals. Make sure you are looking at it. Break it down. Make it clear. 3, be disciplined to stay true. Utilize free resources. Stay accountable to yourself. Do the assignment you give yourself without AI, so you are certain you are good at it. Do this and build all 3 of your career capitals. Amazing. Now, coincidentally, now, something about AI is, I mean, is that some people over depend on it, some under depend on it, some are like, no, 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 no. I feel like AI is it might look like I'm not the one doing the job, right? If you're in that category, I need you to give me a thumbs up or just raise your hand. Or if you're if you're in the team of, once I do AI, I'm good to go. Sometimes I don't even need to proofread. I want you to give me a thumbs up as well. But if you over the last 6 months you have used AI at one point or the other, I mean, by AI, I mean chat GPT and any other tool at all. Just give me a thumbs up and let me see. Okay. Julia, okay. Elizabeth, okay. SC says for me it's AI plus HI. Sorry, if you want to expand on what HI is, or human intelligence, I guess, equals excellence. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so right about now, Elizabeth is still going to be, answering some of our questions because I have questions, right? But we are not going to be moving, so it's going to be infused actually. The panel discussion on retention, remote work, and reputation, mastering the talent market, right? This session is not going to be very long, but I tell you, if you pay keen attention, you are going to, get a lot of things out of it. So, like I said, if you have any question, just let me know. So one of the people that's going to be, and I'm going to be inviting to join Elizabeth on this session is Bemileke Anthony, right? Bemileke is a co-founder of African Growth Tribe. She is an accomplished EdTech professional who successfully bridges the world of instructional design, project management, and business analysis within the higher education landscape. She possesses a proven track record in designing and developing highly effective online learning resources and scalable educational programs, ensuring alignment between pedagogical best practices and measurable business goals. Her expertise extends to the edtech space, yes, where she skillfully coordinates complex technical projects, manages stakeholder expectation, and drives continuous improvement in learning delivery. She's deeply passionate about leveraging media and technology from platforms to data analytics, not just to enhance education outcomes, but to fundamentally empower learners and position institutions for future successes in the digital era. I also want to mention that Bemileke she's a MasterCard Foundation scholar, and if I say that she's good at what she does, she is good. You can check her out on LinkedIn, and you will know that these people are not just people who talk. They talk because they have the experiential knowledge and they have the professional knowledge. So I want you to join me to welcome Bemileke Anthony. She has been here on the call, and for give it up for Elizabeth as well. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, Elizabeth. I mean, I said Elizabeth, sorry. Bimileke. Thank you again.
Thank you. Good
Yes.
evening,
Okay.
everyone.
Good evening. So, before I'm going to ask Bimileke a question. Now it is AI related, right? And you might, I heard somebody say, when Elizabeth was talking, she had mentioned something about um not relying on solely on artificial intelligence, right? So my question, Bimileke, is very, very simple. I don't know if anybody can still hear me. I can hear myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, my first question would be, how can professionals and companies effectively deal with brain drain by creating and finding challenging high impact roles without necessarily leaving the continent? Now, this question is tilted, towards retention and, remote work now, before we move into artificial intelligence. Now, this is a world where, skills are very important, just like Elizabeth has said, has mentioned. But then I want to be in my continent. I'm an African, but I also want to contribute to the larger world, right? But then how do I balance this, right? How can professionals like ourselves and companies, combat this brain drain, and then they will still create challenging, impact roles without us actually still leaving the continent? So how can I still make impact? How can I be the best? How can I still be retained at work? And how can I deal with remote work without still leaving my continent? Yes. So that's my first question.
Thank you, Abise. I think that the very first thing is that I would say the first thing is that you need to have audacity, because when you think of remote roles, you're thinking, oh, so now I'm going to earn in foreign currency, then I'm going to compete with people from all over the world. Um, and then you think of yourself as like, oh, I'm Nigerian, I studied in Nigeria, I didn't really get the best, maybe the best education there is out there. So why would they pick me? So the first thing is audacity, because you need audacity to get out of your own way. Because if you are stuck in the, oh my gosh, the odds are against me, you would never attempt to even potentially apply for or seek an international remote role. And the second thing is to, I think it's important to build local competence first. Um, you can't, it's, I doubt that you can just straight out of the university, without getting any work experience whatsoever, just decide that you want a remote role. That's going to be very, very hard to pull off, because you have to have proven um, local competence before you attempt to prove international value. If there's no local competence, it's going to be difficult to prove international value. That is to say that there's a track record of you executing stuff, of you doing well, before you now say, okay, I can then translate these skills to an international workforce. And to be honest, it's, sorry, sorry, give me 10 seconds, please.
All right, just wait some few minutes. And I'm happy to announce that we have Wando in our midst. And friend, she has joined us, and she's also going to be participating in the panel discussion. So I can assure you, you'd have a swell time and while learning today. Welcome, Wando. I don't know if you can hear us.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I don't know if Bemleke is back now.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
great.
So yeah, that is the that's from the angle of the person who is seeking a remote job. Um, so those are the first two things. You need to have audacity, and then you need to have a track record, because yes, we have to admit that you are at a certain level of disadvantage based on the fact that you are in Nigeria and you are Nigerian. However, there's audacity, competence, but then there's also resilience, because just generally in the global market, whether it's in the US or in the UK or wherever, many economies are shrinking, or they're becoming more and more, for lack of a better way to put it at this time, self-centered. So, since the pandemic, a lot of tech companies, for instance, have they are laying off thousands, and they are still laying off thousands. I think Amazon cut thousands of jobs this year. Same with Microsoft. So you need that resilience, because you're most likely not going to get it at your first try. I know someone who's in America who we had uh, a webinar with a couple of months ago, and he now works like at an international company that people would envy. And he essentially said that he applied to over 400 roles, and he got one. I think he got two interviews, and whether he passed one or something. So that's someone who is in America. Um, so you need that resilience to know that, yeah, this is not the case of I did 10 and they are not coming for me. And even the so-called like Americans or like Europeans or whatever, they are not applying to 10 jobs either. They have to keep applying and applying, because there's more people than job openings. So you need resilience as well, if that's something that you need to do. And then you need to have cultural intelligence, because if you get off saying, someone says, what do you think about this thing that I did? And you're like, yeah, I don't think it really makes sense. I think you should change it. The Nigerian bluntness may work in Nigeria, but you need the wisdom and the tact to be able to give constructive criticism, to say, okay, this was a good first attempt. So I think we can potentially improve on this. Why don't we see if we can tweak X, Y, Z? You've essentially said that what the person has done is not what is expected, but you've not said, yeah, this doesn't make sense, do it again. Which is lingo that you would probably get away with using in Nigeria. So there's cultural intelligence and recognizing that you have to. There's branding, but honestly, I'm. I don't want to call it like branding the way. I don't mean that you need to be posting 17 posts on LinkedIn. I think that you need to show that you are someone who has value. Um, and you're skilled at what you do. And so that may mean you post on LinkedIn 10 times a year. You don't have to become like a blogger type person, but the idea is that whatever it is that you're posting is of value, even if it's 6 times a year, so that if someone goes through your LinkedIn, it's not empty, it's you saying stuff. It's potentially people echoing and saying, oh yeah, this person knows what they're doing, blah blah blah. So yeah, that I would say that is key. And to find challenging impact, you have to go do more than LinkedIn. If all you are doing is LinkedIn, you're probably shortchanging yourself. There are a number of platforms to use. There's Well Found, there's YC Jobs, there's what's it called, Working Nomads, there's Remotive. There are a number of remote jobs, job board. There's Idealist. So you have to do more than just, oh my gosh, I'm just on LinkedIn, I didn't say anything, bye bye. No, you have to search and search like your life depends on it, because that's the trajectory that you want your life to have. And then you have to know how to network and be strategic in how you are networking. And this may seem like, at some point it may seem like fancy, where it's like, oh, this person is a director somewhere, and you want to know the person and you want them to put in a good word for you and whatever. That's also helpful, because sometimes some of these roles, it's somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who requests for a referral, and then it's like, oh yeah, I know this person, I think they can do the job, and boom, you've gotten your international remote job. So yeah, I think those things. And I don't know that we have employers here. For you to want to recruit international talent, you have to be an international brand. That's in like the physical branding of like what people see about your company online, but then also with your practices, right? Are you yeah, so you just have to structure yourself in that way that it can accommodate people from different contexts and cultures. So yeah, that's and then you also have to look for in-demand roles. Everybody these days wants to be a virtual assistant. I'm not a virtual assistant, so I don't know if there's actually a demand for that. But go online, do your research. What's in demand? Is it prompt engineers? Okay, fine. See how you can become a prompt engineer. So yeah, I think those are the points that I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gemileke, you actually covered. I mean, now I don't know what next question to ask because you literally touched the next question I was going to ask. Thank you so much. I'm still going to come back to you, right? I have one more question for you, and I'm sure that maybe some of those on the call might have one question for you. But before I do that, while you were speaking, Wando joined us. Welcome, Wando. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction of Wando, then I would I'll come back and ask, this question so that we can quickly move forward. And so who is Wando? Wando is joining us here, and she's a distinguished human resource practitioner and administrator with over 9 years of experience. I'm sure that ST and Monyolu, you guys are very, very happy right now because you wanted somebody in that space. Yes, and there was also one more person who spoke that needed, direction in the HR space, so in a safe space. Yes, she's transforming people's operations and strengthening organizational effectiveness. She currently serves as a people and culture lead at Rage Media Group, one of Nigeria's most dynamic and forward-thinking advertising and media companies. So if you have been trying to apply to Rage Media Group, I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. I'm not saying anything, but yes. So in this role, she champions a culture of excellence, structure, and continuous learning, right? And she has successfully partnered with clients across diverse industries, including real estate, retail, hospitality, and even faith-based organizations, designing HR frameworks that supports clarity, engagement, and long-term sustainability. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in English Language and is a proud member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Nigeria. She remains passionate about building workplaces where people thrive and where culture becomes a competitive advantage. Please, I'd love you to join me as I welcome Wando Adza. Thank you so much for joining us, Wando,
Thank
for
you.
this session. Thank you so much. It's really great to have you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lovely to
Yeah.
be here.
Okay. So I think I would ask you a question that I would then go back to. I have a question for Elizabeth as well.
Okay.
Right. But if I don't know, please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Wonder, right? I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great.
All right.
Interesting. So my question to you would be, from an HR perspective, I understand that you've been there, for long, like as long as possible, right? And I'm sure that 9 years do not maybe necessarily capture all the years that you have been in this, in this space, right? But what are the given the skills first movement, because we have spoken about having requisite skills and all of that, yes, but what advice do you have for somebody who has demonstrable skills, right, but they lack formal experience on how to get past the initial automated or human screening phase? Yes. So I mean, I'm sure I just voiced out a lot of questions and many people's hearts right now. So I mean, I get it. You want me to have particular skills, and currently you have these skills. You must be skilled in this. You must be skilled in that. But I mean, I have these skills, yes, but I don't have the formal experience
Mm.
based on what if whatever reason, I'm not making excuses for anybody now. So
Mm.
would you advise me on how to get past the initial automated or human screening phase? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I like that you added that you are not making excuses for anybody. These things happen, whether we like it or not. These things happen. So there's a job opening. There are a lot of people that know that I can do this. I can do this. But when you look at their CVs, they feel like I've not done enough, not captured them enough, and all of that. That's why there's been a lot of conversations around putting what you've done on paper, presenting it well, and all of that. I don't know that I am experienced in a field and it's not I'm not able to put it down on paper. I really don't know how that works. But there's a reason why there are systems in place. So there's a job opening, there's an expected skill set expected for the people that will take on this job and all of that. A company would rather just have an applicant that has all these. You know what? Recruiting is a whole lot. So I don't want to start um bothering myself so much about scrutinizing you, looking at using my ego eye to see whether this one is potential. So everybody just wants to, oh, this person has the right skill set. This person is saying the right things I want to hear. Let's hire this person. That's like best case scenario for all of us because we want to also move on to other things. But if life does not bring you to a place where your name is mentioned in the right conversation, somebody is referring you, oh, I know this guy that does this thing great. You may not necessarily see it on paper and all of that, but he knows how to do the job. Then you get him into the room, then he speaks up, then you see that, there's experience there. A lot of people get jobs like that. They get contracts like that, they get opportunities like that. But best case scenario would be as you are learning, be documenting, train yourself aright, do what you need to do, place yourself at that point where opportunity will meet preparedness. I I can't assure you that every time you have the opportunity to be mentioned in the right places where somebody will believe in you and all of those things happen. Yes, I know that I got into HR. I don't know, maybe some sort of divine arrangement. Somebody just looked at me and believed that I could do the job, and he said, "Start the HR department." Do you get? I did that. I got that, but I don't know how many people will get those opportunities. So it's safer to begin to train yourself, climb up the ladder, be diligent, put your papers together, know what you are doing, be able to speak about what you are doing, prepare yourself so that you are not in that fix. It's easier to say that Wando come and do this, Wando gets into the room and Wando is able to speak about what she does and all of that. There's less convincing to do. The world has become very fast paced. There are systems that we have put in place to check resumes and help us streamline the recruitment process. The world is really getting busy. Yes, you will get that opportunity where they will call your name in the room, or somebody will insist that you can do this. Then it will be an opportunity for you to come and defend yourself. But I don't know how many times that will happen. So I will still go back to the old way. I don't know if I disappointed anybody, but I'd rather you just pick a career, begin to grow in it, prepare yourself in that career. If they mention your name and somebody believes in you that you can do this, then you show up and defend yourself. But that is not the standard. That is not the way. That is not the norm. So these other aspects, they are just once in a while scenarios that come up. Thank you.
Interesting. So document your journey as you are learning. Thank you so much, and for that detailed answer. Yes. So I have one more question for you. But before I ask you, this question is for Elizabeth. This question is for Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, I don't know if you can still hear us.
Oh yes, I can. I'm here.
Okay, great. So how does one effectively market and provide evidence of your skills, right? For example, soft skills, right? So we've been over time, people tend to neglect soft skills for other, competent skills. And when Bemileke was talking, she mentioned certain skills that I would categorize as soft skills. She had mentioned something like knowing how to communicate, knowing how to respond, giving constructive criticism, and all of that. I believe all of this falls under soft skills, right? So how
Mhm.
can one effectively market? You had mentioned what during your session, reputation and the like. So I think that they are closely related. So how would you say that we can effectively market and provide the evidence of my soft skills on a resume or even during an interview? Now, let's say I've even scaled through the shortlisting process, right? Now I'm in the interview space. How do I market these skills and provide evidence of my soft skills or my
Great.
soft skills? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Okay, so basically, how to effectively show evidence of your soft skills, whether during an interview or through your CV. Uh, hmm. I think first of all, you need to know how to tie your soft skills to business outcomes, right? Because for businesses, the most important thing for them is outcomes, value. So you can demonstrate that you can tie your soft skills to outcomes through some sort of word that you just use to communicate that. I'll give an example. You want to use action words that signal these soft skills. So, for example, on your CV, if you collaborated with, even if it's a volunteer project, right, the way you phrase things really, really matter. So if you're someone who is good at collaboration and probably collaborated with a couple of people on a project, that project definitely had an outcome. So you want to say, I collaborated with so and so to launch project X, which got us this. If the outcome of that project was like an event, you can talk about how you collaborated with a team of other volunteers that now um you all now work together to ensure that the event that you were planning and working on was successful, and you had over 100 people or over 10 people in attendance, and people gave good reviews about the event. Just phrasing and framing your soft skills in a way that communicates outcome. So you want to use action words. You want to say things like collaborated, coordinated, facilitated, you led. Those things show, they show the work, they show the skill without necessarily doing too much. Uh, so another example would be that if you work with teams outside your primary function, again, that's collaboration. That signals collaboration. It signals communication, because if you're working with people outside of your team, or outside of your function, whatever, it means that you have to keep communicating with those people, especially on a project. It means that you guys were meeting regularly, we're having discussions, we're contributing to conversations, that's teamwork, that's collaboration, that's communication. So you want to just use some action words to communicate that. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. And then for interviews, it's kind of different. You want to do the star approach for interviews. So you can pick, if they ask you how have you been able to, for example, in HR, they can ask me, have you been able to demonstrate emotional intelligence or decision making or conflict management? These are things that HR professionals have to deal with on a daily basis. So then I have to use the star method. I have to find a similar situation that has happened before. I have to talk about the situation. I have to talk about the task, how I was hoping to solve that. I have to talk about the action that I took and then the result. Always, always tie everything back to the outcome. That is what is going to show that, okay, this person has this skill and they were able to use it to drive this type of outcome. So on your CV, communicating soft skills, use action verbs, action words. And then if it's an interview, you want to tell a little story, and show what you did and the results. And yeah, I think these are ways that we can kind of communicate our soft skills effectively. Thank you. I hope we got that. Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, that was really detailed. That was
Mm.
really detailed. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So now I'm going to go back to Bemileke, right? And the question I have is really, it's tilted towards the AI thing that I mentioned earlier, right? Retention in the talent market, mastering the talent market and all. And we've heard things like AI will take our jobs, AI will do this, AI will do that. It's often like, oh, everywhere you turn to now. I know we have the HR professionals on the call, but for someone like you who is even in the artificial intelligence space itself, and then I think few weeks back you had said something, you put out a post on LinkedIn talking about um, utilizing AI the right way and all. I'm going to put the link in the chat box for everyone to see, but I want you to actually speak more to that. And my question is really, really simple, right? What what are the benefits and drawbacks of implementing AI automation in the workplace? Or I'm going to also tweak it to say that how is AI automation changing the job market? Right? Can AI automation, can artificial intelligence, in its general sense, actually bridge the gap in skills, a shortage that we have, especially in Nigeria and then Africa at large? So I would love you to really speak to that briefly. Over to you, Bimike.
Thank you. Abise, I think the very first thing is to recognize that the A in AI is artificial. And for AI to work, it needs a human, right? So even when you want to use LLMs, which is large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, if you don't prompt it, it's not going to do anything, right? So it's not some magic. It's not magic, right? At the end of the day, whatever you get from AI is based on whatever input the um the professional it gives, like, to it, because it's computer science. You learn giggle, garbage in, garbage out. Essentially, if you don't know how to use AI tools, you will not get the best from AI tools. But I understand where people are skeptical, thinking that, one, it's outsourcing your thinking to AI. But I'll chime in and say that not everybody, just speaking to LLMs, not everybody is a good prompt engineer. Prompt engineering is a skill. So whatever output you get from AI is determined by that. So I can probably use, ChatGPT or Gemini or Notebook LLM and get myself really, really good outputs. But somebody who doesn't really know how to use it won't. You don't know how to contextualize. You don't know the different kinds of prompt engineering skills or the technicalities involved. And I know some people are scared AI will take their job. I think that for why this era of technology is strange is that many of us did not meet the what's it called, the initial stage of the WWW, which was the World Wide Web. Because I can imagine before, if you needed information, you had to go to the library, blah blah blah, everything you needed. You couldn't just pull up a movie and watch it on your computer and all that. But the technological era that ushered in the internet was revolutionary. People thought it was going to make people, dumb and lazy and all that. And I do think it will make some people dumb and lazy. But if you're a professional, you recognize a trend or an era for what it is, and you plug in and develop the skills necessary for that era, and then use it to your advantage as a professional. Because 10 years from now is going to be something else. 3 years from now, it can be that everybody is designing like VR um, experiences, and then you then have to figure out how to do VR. Like the point is, the technology is not static, and as it changes, you're gonna have to embrace um, those changes. And there's also recognizing, people say AI will take your job. There is a sense in which there are jobs that will be automated and will not necessarily require as much human input, yes. However, the issue would be that there will be need for automation in your job and you will not know how to use those tools. I think that would be the bigger issue, because you're resisting it because you feel like that's just one more thing I need to learn. This is because you're thinking, I'm not a tech person. Well, unfortunately, in 2025, in today's world as it is, everybody has to be a tech person. Even the teacher has to be a tech person, whether it's English you're teaching or not. So I think that's the outlook to have. For me in my job, there are many things that I have to think of by myself. But then there's also many things that I just use a ChatGPT, or in my case, I do use a lot of Gemini and Notebook LLM. But then a lot of times the output I receive, and first of all, I never just copy and paste because that's absurd. Two, sometimes you need to see the output from the AI to recognize that that's not what you want. For you to be like, oh, this thing gave me this thing in 3 seconds. You're like, nope, I'll do it myself. And sometimes that's just genuinely what it is. I'm like, no, no. It's like AI is very poor with context, especially African context. And so you can sit down now and ask ChatGPT, make me a meal plan. And it's going to be telling you quinoa, chia seed, something, something. And then you have to be like, oh no, I'm Nigerian. And then I did it several times. I had to specify, okay, so this is not a Nigerian meal. Like, limit it to XYZ. And this is just for my personal use. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's very lacking in nuance and context. So it's not just something that you can use blindly. So just to uh conclude, yes, if you do want to work for an international company, you do need to know how to be comfortable using AI tools. I think I wrote, I don't know if it's the post that Bisoye shared, that when I was doing my master's at Arizona State University, I didn't even think I had a ChatGPT account. I wrote, even after learning about like ChatGPT and all that, I still wrote every single essay, article, whatever paper. I wrote it without any dot of AI, right? But the very first time I became curious about AI was that we're brainstorming something in class, and my professor was like, "Why don't you ask ChatGPT for ideas?" And in my head, I was like, "Sir, excuse you, you're a professor?" And he was like, "Oh no, just do it." And that was my very first encounter using AI by myself, using AI tools by myself, right? So at work sometimes I'm like, okay, so I'll get this done and it's going to take me like 3 hours, and it's my supervisor that is like, oh yeah, just run it through ChatGPT. It's not, I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing. People are not hiding what they are using automation tools for. It's like, oh yeah, I have an automation that automatically creates Jira tickets. I just feed it and it creates my Jira tickets for me. Simple. But that at the core of it, we are all still working. Our work, there's so many low level tasks that we are focusing on the key issues, such that I'm not cracking my head on, I've created the course plan for a particular course and I'm thinking, oh, I need 10 quiz questions. I'm like, you know what, I don't have the time to sit down and go through everything and write 10 quiz questions that captures XYZ, and I run it through my organization has different native AI tools, and I'm like, there's one to generate questions. I'm like, put it there. I want multiple choice. I want fill in the blank. Bam, give it to me, and then I use it. But then the funny thing is that I always have to cross check it, because one, AI can hallucinate, and sometimes it just gets things wrong. But again, because I am the expert, AI is a tool. It is not the expert. I am the expert. I'm able to say, nope, this is wrong. You failed this. This is irrelevant. Oh, you repeated a question 3 times, but you just rephrased it. So it's again, it's not your, and then when you sometimes when you see people who they just copy and paste, there's some flowery language that you use. And for me, when recruiters are like, oh, don't use AI, I'm sorry to the, I know we have HR personnel here. I don't understand why. Because first of all, you're going to use AI to filter people out. Because let's be honest, you will use applicant tracking system, you will filter me out, you use keyword, then you now come and say the applicant should not use AI. Let's AI versus AI, whoever wins will win. Let's out AI each other, right? Because I mean, not there are jobs that have I don't know 1,000 applicants, and I doubt that your people are looking at 1,000 applicants, resumes and stuff, right? So it's like I don't know. You have to embrace the change. However, I do think that some people forget that the prompts that they put is what they copied. So it's like you didn't even change it. Sometimes when I want to be lazy, I feed the LLM my stuff, and I'm like, and it brings stuff out. I'm like, yeah, so I don't sound like this, and I feed it something else that I've written. I say, and I specify right in my voice, and I say, if I put this quote, leave it there. If I put this phrase, leave it there. Leave X, Y, leave. Don't kill me with M dash. Don't. And you have to. Sometimes it's a battle. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then I finally copy it and then rewrite it still to my taste. So again, it's a tool. You are the expert. That is the biggest thing, and be willing to, even outside of AI itself, just technology. Be willing to say they'll come tomorrow. Then this my boss is like, we want to use Coda, and I'm like, okay, what happened to Notion? And they're like, oh, so we're doing it on Airtable, and it's like, oh, okay, well, no wahala. Then this is Jira, then this is Confluence. You have to be very, very comfortable with technology, because international companies, they only use 17 different tools, and then you're just like, my brothers and sisters in Christ, can't we just do this thing on Google Docs? And the answer they will give you is no. You are using whimsical, they are creating diagrams. So that's something that you have to be, comfortable with if you want to work get like an international remote job, is that there will be different tools, even the ones that are not AI. So just that mindset of when they say disembark on that capping, disassociate your skill from, oh, I'm just a HR person, I won't do tech. I don't do tech. Or I'm just a content writer, I won't do tech. You will do tech. Oh. We are all doing tech. So just embrace that fact and recognize that you don't have to be a developer. However, you do have to possess a level of technical fluency. So I feel like I've said enough, but I hope I've made my point.
Thank you so much. Yes, you really did. That was really detailed. Thank you so much. I could see apologies, not maybe not apologies to the HR professionals here. And I'm sure you rolled your eyes when you I mean, it's AI for AI, no more aura for aura. AI for AI. Interesting. Okay, so thank you so much, Kemileke. My final question is to Wando. We are a little bit over time, but that's because we also started a little late. But I'd like to crave our indulgence so that I can ask this final question, and then we can, wrap things up almost very quickly. But from an HR perspective, still, right? What are the non-salary factors that African companies must prioritize to retain top talent, against the draw of international offers? And a follow-up question will then be that when we as Africans, Nigerians, are even negotiating salaries or even jobs, right? What are the things that we must, like our culture, purpose, flexibility that we must prioritize to be able to, stay in these jobs? Getting them is one thing. Now, retaining them is another thing, because I've heard of situations where people, there's a pool of workers and they want to lay people off. Quite a number of those that they're laying off are Africans, or let me bring it down home now, Nigerians. Would you say there's a particular reason for that, or it's just something that was missing during the recruitment process, or even as they have worked up to themselves up the ladder? What do you wonder?
I'll start by very briefly telling Bunilike that it is not a fight, trust me. My if you go to my history, even everything you were saying, it sounded so familiar. I'll be like, please now, the thing that I put in my prompt, can you leave it there? What's your problem? So I am very familiar with these things you say. And thankfully, I work with an organization that prides itself as a learning organization. So these things are not strange to me. So everybody, please be comfortable with using these tools. Now, to answer your question, I'm just going to speak here and there. I hope I make out all my points. You see, the truth is that every organization that wants to retain the right talent uh, in these years, they've come to understand that people don't leave because of money. People don't leave. We've made peace. We have finally come to that realization that even in Nigeria, people have started leaving jobs because they are confused about their growth. They don't feel valued. They don't even understand what is expected of them. They cannot see that growth map. Trust me. So companies have started structuring benefits outside salary. From the interviews, they begin to tell you stuff like, this is the sort of system we have here. This is the sort of growth path that is here for you. There is no confusion. Even the way they are framing job roles and job titles now, you see clearly that, okay, so this is not sounding like the usual. That means this person knows what they do. I've had applicants ask me back at interviews that, what is the growth path for me? And I am not stammering. I'm able to clearly tell you that if you come on this role, this is the path. And in the next this number of years, I expect that you'll be here, you'll be here, you'll be here. And then it excites them. So that it just goes to show that applicants now know what they want. So from the outside, they are able to see clearly that when I come on, this is where I am. I'm going to be in the next few years and all of that. So to answer your first question, this is what people should offer. This is what organizations should offer. Offer people clarity. Offer people, give them, back then it used to be a major problem that I get a job and then I start fighting you for even an offer letter. 2 months down the line, you've not sent me an offer letter. All these issues were existing. But now people have set up their way of doing things clearly, that we know that after interviews, something as simple as giving you an email feedback that this is how you performed and all of that, that is where you begin to see that this organization I'm about to step into, they are structured, they know what they're doing. Do you understand? So I get a feedback to say that, okay, this was not successful. Unfortunately, we have to move on to the next person and all of that. Even if I don't get to that place, I know that whoever gets into that place is working with a set of people that know what they are doing. So I feel some sort of peace. So we begin to offer applicants clarity. We offer them a direct growth path. We offer them clarity, long and short, right? So that they know what they are doing. There's a whole fight between CEOs, HRs about flexible work arrangements. We did our appraisals on Friday for our interns who are trying to take on or asked to leave, and they asked all of them, what do you want to change? And they said, can we go back to our 1 day work from home that we used to have? And then you see the execs will be like, no, it will not happen. And then, and all of that. So I feel like if we sort of bring these things to work, you see, HRs, you know how we can be, Elizabeth. We are somehow on the side of the execs, and another day we are on the side of staff and all of. In that moment, I was like, you should stop this thing you're doing. Eventually, you have to embrace it. You have to embrace it. And I don't know if it was Ben that mentioned COVID. I mean, yes, some people will be lazy, yeah, but some of these things work. So we sit and we say some fancy words that let's bring these initiatives. I've read in one book, the CEO said this is what he did that works for him. It looks all fancy when you are reading it. Then when HR presents it to you, say, okay, let's adopt this. You are beginning to, CEOs will typically start thinking of the worst case scenario. What if I'm not able to reach this person on a work from home day? What if this, you've not even tried it to know if it will work or not. So they are fighting that a lot. Some people are using it. I know of a company that have completely moved just completely remote just about 2 months ago. They completely moved remote, So, I mean, I was going to talk about retention, and you cannot say for sure that you will master what happens in the work environment with talent and business owners and all of that. It's everybody, people are looking for different things at different points. That's just the truth. You cannot master it. So you first of all need to understand what's happening in your own organization. Try to suggest these initiatives to management, give them real case scenarios, show them what has worked, try it, give it a trial period, and see whether it works for you or not. But outside the money, outside the compensation, what makes people stay is that first of all, they can see clearly where they will be from point A to point B. They care for mobility, talents care for mobility. Nobody wants to be in one place for too long. So if you have a system that moves people here and there, gives people more responsibility, creates certain roles. In my workplace, we had a gap. We didn't even know what to do with it. Then we noticed a particular talent that had those skills. We just curated a new title and gave it to her, and she's thriving. She was on the way out. But somebody just said, you know what, let us do this. Let us curate this office. And we gave it to her. So if you are able to recognize people's strengths where they can thrive, just make them useful. People want to be used, for lack of a better word. So make people useful, move people around, allow people to grow. That on my letter, I'm seeing that you're employing me on grade this, step this, and my handbook is saying that if I do this after certain more years, I will move up to the alone is enough assurance that I'm not going to be in one place in this place. I'm going to grow and all of that. So basically, let's focus more on offering people growth, offering people. We are not our parents. I was listening to a podcast this morning and it was a war of generations. We are not baby boomers that are comfortable with staying in one place for 30 something years. We are now a blend that there are different generations in the workplace currently. I think some organizations currently have alphas, generation alpha in their workspace now. I know that a lot of them will come in now in the next 5 years and all of that, but there's a blend. So as HR people, it's important to bring up initiatives that check the spread of generations in your place. Begin to treat people how they understand best, how they thrive best, and then do those initiatives here and there. When you present certain initiatives to manage it, management present it with data, data basically, so help them take informed decisions so that you are not just throwing words around it. I don't know that I've answered your question, but aside money, please show people their growth, show people that you move people around here, show people that their thoughts, their contributions are going to be valued. And as business owners, when HR brings initiatives to you, accept it. Listen to her first, or you take the numbers and let's move things around. Don't just stay static. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please let's roll this applause out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bemileke. Thank you, and thank you, Elizabeth. This was, really, really insightful. I took a lot of notes myself. I was just, capturing a lot of things. So before we have, come to the end in a way, but I want somebody to just give me just summarize 2-3 words or sentences what you were able to take away from the panel session, the general sessions, the speaking session as well, the presentation by Elizabeth. Please, I would call your name if you don't answer me, but please, let's I would like someone to speak. If you can type in the chat box as well, that would help. That's also allowed. But before we wrap up, I would like us to do that. Anything at all. So I've also put the link to follow African Growth Tribe on LinkedIn in the chat box, and also a link to the write-up I mentioned by the Miliki on utilizing AI. You can just go through it, brush up on it, and leave a comment as well. You can do that. ST, do you want to share something? ST Adedayo, Erica Oluwapelumi, Alimat Rashidat, let's have you.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
Evening. Yes, please, we can.
Okay. So I came in quite late, but I want to appreciate the panelists that Bemileke, Wando, Elizabeth. I mean, the contributions they made, the points they raised actually were quite insightful. From Bemileke's point or discussions on the use of AI tools, I think it's something I've come to even realize myself over the past few years. Yes, that you really can't stay away from AI. And the discussion this evening has further helped me see the need to work up as in build up my skill along that line, because really there's no way to do without it. And I've actually been encouraged by the discussions that I really have much more to do. And I think even with the discussions around the HR and how the organizations need to plan for help their employees to plan to see the growth path. That's something that's been a concern to me, and I'm glad that was even touched on during the discussion. So it actually has been very, very, very insightful and helpful for me. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adedayo. Is there any other person that wants to go before we call it a day or an evening?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Oluwapelumi. Go ahead.
I'd like to say thank you for everything that has been said so far. I just wanted to say that for me, I've just picked out that it's a never-ending learning process. Everything that either the facilitator or the tutors have said so far, it just put me in a place where I just had to pick out that these people, they've basically put so much in themselves and they can pour into us, and then it's just a place for me to realize that I cannot not stop adding to myself too. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Oluwapelumi. Okay, so it has been a great one. Yes, I want to apologize because we were short, by some minutes, because we needed to wait for other people to join and all of that. But really, if it was worth your time, I would just, send a reaction, give a reaction, and something, anything. If this session was worth your time at all, thank you so much, Oluwapelumi. I can see that. Yes, Alimat, thank you so much. Thank you. I really want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in. It was really a great one. You can please follow us on LinkedIn. It is very important, so you can, keep up with everything we're doing. So, like I said, African Growth Tribe is here to make growth accessible for every young African. That is it. Woman, man, male, female, whatever category you find yourself, as long as you're an African, and the resources are free. Yes, roll out scholarship updates and all of that just for you. So it's really, really a robust one. And today we've been able to learn how to build a career capital, right? We learned that from Elizabeth. We had the panel discussion on mastering the talent market, right? The use of AI tools. And one of the things that stood out for me is really that AI is just a tool. You are the master. So don't be, AI will take your job or whatever. Just make sure you know what you're doing. That is much more important, right? And thank you so much for the questions. You can join us. So this session was recorded in case you want to go back to anything, especially some of the things that were shared, right? It's going to be uploaded on YouTube. Please share with those that were not able to join the session. Share with them and ensure that they learn, because a lot of gems were shared, and I'm sure that you don't want to miss out. Follow us on LinkedIn. I've put the link in the chat box like I mentioned. And yes, that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us to the very end, Elizabeth. Thank you, Wando. Thank you, Bimileke. Thank you. All right. So before everybody leaves, if you can turn on your video before you go, I think would love that. Just turn on your video and say bye, and you can then drop off the call. Thank you so much. Bye. Also remember to
Bye guys. Bye guys.
bye.